Hello and welcome back to IEM Gyeonggi Jetlag Edition with me and Deficio. How are you doing, mate? Good? Still good?
Yeah,
you've been doing way more games than me. You had like another 2 before me, so you must be
what can I say? I woke up at 5 in the morning,
yeah.
ready to cast. As soon
Ready
as I
to
woke
go.
up, I was just ready. Give me a mic, let's go. Had to wait a few hours, but now here
Just
we
a
are,
few.
and this could be our last game.
Could be.
Will be our last series for sure.
Yeah.
Could be last game as well if Immortals win.
I mean, that's a true statement. It will be our
Very
last
true,
series because
very
this is
true.
our last series today between Immortals and J-Team. Immortals, very strong first game. It was very back and forth in the early game, though. So it could maybe swing the way of J-Team, but just the way that Immortals played the mid-game and there onwards was just like,
Sure.
it looked like there was not a lot that J-Team could do.
No, obviously Immortals were able to kind of stop Fofo from ever split pushing.
Sure.
Always had to kind of worry about the Ashe engage, potentially. Fofo also went mid lane when he shouldn't have at a point, and he kind of lost the entire push on bottom side. So there were a few mistakes there, but overall, I think just Flame and Dardoch together was like such a sick combo in that last game. Dardoch did the most damage in the entire game as a Rek'Sai who went Cinderhawk first item, you know.
Tanks, ladies
Just
and gentlemen.
says enough, you know,
Tanks.
about his impact, and yeah, of course, our strong tanks. On Flame, just unkillable. We talked about that in the pick and ban phase. Like, yeah, Kennen on paper, sure, it's okay in the early game, but then as soon as you get to like one full item on the Poppy and you get like some MR, Kennen is never gonna kill the Poppy, and obviously Flame would just go crazy all over the place.
I mean, I don't think it's a wrong statement to say that the Kennen wasn't necessarily a bad pick. Like, he got into those team fights, he killed everyone,
Yeah, of course.
then his team all got picked by Poppy.
We just sadly didn't see enough team fights where J-Team could actually use the TP flanks.
Yeah.
That's some good TPs on the bottom side for some dives early on. That was great. But in the end, the Poppy got to late game. Flame was a monster together with Dardoch, and they won that game for Immortals.
Yes, they did, but we're into game 2 of this best of 3 here, and we are into picks and bans. We're going to be starting it off with Thresh once again, followed by Syndra. So taking that one away and changing it up a little from game 1.
Yeah, the last 3 games, Pauls, Syndra was actually left open as a bait, and it was of course first pick every single time. Last game it didn't work because again the AP Echo didn't pay off. There was actually ganks towards the mid lane with the Rek'Sai together with the Syndra, the way you have to play against that Echo, and Immortals managed to deal with it just fine. Orianna banned because last time Immortals banned 3 mid laners and then first rotation to Orianna, which kind of blocks the Cassiopeia pick a little bit because Orianna is good against Cassiopeia in lane, especially after level 6. So that was like a smart thing Immortals did earlier today. Now it's banned. So we might see like just 5 mid lane bans.
Yeah, many mage bans currently, and
Victor first pick.
it could open up something more interesting, but yeah, you're probably right. Victor coming out. I want to see a Katarina. I still think there's a chance we see that pick. It's very difficult though. It's one of those picks that you have to spend a lot of time on to make it work. When you can just be like, screw it, I'm just going to play Victor. I'm going to play like one of these meta mages that we've seen for so long.
But you also want to get the Lee Sin if you are J-Team to deny that from Dardoch, even though, of course, again, that's the same thing we talked about in the last pick and ban phase. Like, when Rek'Sai Lee Sin is open, the trade is not the greatest because you just kind of, you get one that's S tier, they get one that's S tier, so you don't really gain that huge of an advantage unless you have a Lee Sin player who can really, like, snowball the game. This is another reason, I guess, for the Orianna ban, but Ryze is open, and I actually think Ryze is okay to pick against Cassiopeia, and you're gonna give away Lee Sin now for Dardoch, so that was like the #1 jungle pick for Immortals.
Yep.
You didn't
deny that from Dardoch.
but you banned the Orianna because you wanted to pick the Cassiopeia. We talked about how Orianna was good against Cassiopeia in the laning phase, but Ryze is still available if Immortals wants to play it, and you can just set up like basically a tent in the mid lane, and you have a not a perma, but you have a point on click snare against a no boots mage. You have a Lee Sin. That combo is probably going to work pretty well against Cassiopeia.
Yeah, I would think so. J-Team looking at each other right now saying, I think we have screwed up, lads. Is remake an option?
Well, I don't hope they think that already. That would be pretty bad. I assume they realized there was a chance the Ryze was open. I actually think Immortals really like surprised them with the Maokai ban. Like the Maokai is almost like a filler ban here. in many ways, because like you could have just banned like Poppy or something, or you could have just given the Maokai and taken Poppy yourself. Doesn't really do much of a difference.
My pen now.
So that was more like a filler ban, honestly. And it's been like, no, actually, we want to leave the Rise open and see what you want to play.
I want to see what Immortals do, or rather J-Team does with the rest of their picks and bans, to see if they have a plan in mind. There's the Tam Kench we saw once earlier.
The Ashe counter.
The Ashe counter. And Poppy as well for the top lane.
Boring!
So take that one away from Flame. Come on,
play Rise! Rise is so broken, man.
Rise is so broken.
I don't care if you might struggle in the early levels.
Those crazy crits that you see from the Rise combos late game. That's what I want to see from Immortals.
Because funny story, at Worlds, first week of Worlds, Cassiopeia Syndra was played like 24/7. And then teams had practiced Rise like in solo queue a lot, specifically to try and play him against Cassiopeia and try and just camp the mid lane. But again, I mean, Victor is always a safe choice, la da da, yada da da.
We just want to see sparks fly. We want some crazy stuff to happen in these games, but it's fine. He's got Blizzards to go for. He's going to be happy in the mid lane. Zyra locked in alongside it and followed up with the Rek'Sai, of course, for the jungle pick from Machi. And Jin will be alongside the Tam Kench in the bottom lane. So we've got the full comp there from J-Team. I'm just waiting on Immortals, and Nautilus would be fine here.
Yeah, I prefer that one over the Trundle, just because you're playing a 1-4 comp anyway. You don't really have anyone else who want to go side lane of Victor and Ashe. Keep them as a 1-4 strong team fighting composition and use that big Nautilus and his guaranteed knock-up against the likes of Jin, against the likes of Cassiopeia. There's nothing more annoying as a Jin when a fight breaks out to see that Nautilus ulti come towards you, because you can't even like kite around and charge up your own ulti. You have to just kind of wait for that knock-up. And then there's a lot of things that can follow up. Dark is one of them, but also things like, you know, Victor comes in with the laser, the storm, everything, and then suddenly, as a Jin, you're pretty dead. There's really nothing you can do. So I like Nautilus a lot against these low mobility.
Yep, but they do have Tam Kench, so that could be an option. Just devour up the Jin as the depth charge is coming towards him. So
very good point.
That could be a thing.
He's here actually to try and counter 3 of the picks from Immortals. The Lee Sin, so he can't kick back, you know, the squishy target. The Nautilus ulti and the Ashe ulti. All trying to get denied by Time. Sadly for him, he has 2 long cooldown. He can only can't deny one of them.
That's true. Or he just he picks up BB and just runs away.
And then Fofo is kind of left behind.
Well, there's lots of things to try and block, but a lot of this will be on Jay to keep the squishy, low mobility Jin alive in this game. J-Team, they are up against it. We're on to the Rift for our second game in this best of 3. This is the decider, the elimination match. That's also our faces. Hello. What is going on? We don't have a pause.
No, they just really want to show the casters.
Yes. Had to get us on screen one more time, because this could be the final game here. Elimination match, as I was saying. Winner will progress onto the semi-finals out of Group A. Loser will be joining the Vega Squadron on a nice vacation in Korea.
And in case you missed it earlier today, if you were sleeping, because some of it was very early in Europe and pretty late in North America.
That's true, most people will be sleeping in North America
exactly. Now. Samsung, let's see if Jay can... force a flash. He can't devour him now, so there's not really any reason to flash away.
Cody's son don't want it to be there really, but Pobalt is there to stop him, so it's fine. Just a bit of a scrap to start off the game. Ghost popped there. Morning was looking to turn the corner.
Stop the recall!
May have her up charge. Does stop the recall. This is actually quite bad from Cody's son.
Alright, if the kids can stop playing, we can actually talk about how Samsung has already locked the first seed from this group after they took down Immortals 2-0 much earlier today. And that means the winner of this one obviously becomes the second seed out of Group A. And in case you've never ever seen a playoff bracket before, second seed will play the first seed of the other group. Surprise, surprise. And that, I mean, it will be hard to kind of figure out who that is, because the other group obviously has like Congo Monster, Giants, Team Liquid, and Dark Passage. Like, that's almost anyone's game.
Yeah, really is. Just have to see how they start performing tomorrow in those best of ones. Tomorrow will be very interesting indeed. Because we've already got two very strong teams in Group A, of course, Immortals. Yeah. Samsung. So we'll go toe-to-toe earlier. But for now, J-Team will try to shut down Immortals' hopes. Try their best. Mid lane, again, trading blows. And bot lane, actually J-Team doing a pretty good job currently.
The problem is you're always going to take so much damage in return against like double range lanes. A good Q-Def molly. Always important to hit both minions and the champions in the start so you get that push for level 2. If you get level 2 first on Ashe Zyra, especially against like a melee support, you can just zone them off and like deal so much poke damage. One more melee minion going down. And both lanes have a hit level 2 and nothing special happened. A lot of trading early on. Started level 1 actually, into level 2. Jay trying to be a sneaky catfish in the brush.
Being sneaky.
A sneaky catfish.
Not going to be seen for now. Dardock spotted out by Void Burrower, Rek'Sai. And bot lane, Ollie getting caught by pretty much everything under the sun from J-Team's bot lane. The tongue, the random dancing grenades. And
yeah.
Sun, not really harassed at all. He's able to farm away, so.
And it's hard to say a whole lot about these lanes specifically. It's expected that the 2v2 of Ashe Zyra gets to push and wins early on. Nautilus gets to push on Poppy, is very normal as well. Mid lane goes very even. Kind of becomes a bit of a farm matchup where you don't expect to see like a solo kill. So most of what Immortals can do is going to be around the bottom lane, especially at level 6. But before that, there is not like an easy lane to gank for Dardock, because again the Nautilus is kind of pushing it on top side. You can't dive the Poppy so easily. That's going to be real difficult. You gotta get it very low first, and because the bot lane is pushing, you can't really gank there either. So Dardock might just have to go back and just kind of farm up for level 6 before doing a whole lot. And that's kind of where Immortals can turn on the power, and they have to respect the Rek'Sai. Archie is on his way down to the bottom lane.
He is, and he's got the popcorn there, ready to pop. Ollie, not in good shape. Double knock up there from Archie, and Cody Sun taking a little damage. Jay with the triple stacks and the Devour should be surely his end. Okay, finally, BB will finish him off. Jay trying to waddle away, but I don't think it's going to happen for him. He goes down. The flash to Gravity Field, and also the stun will allow Dardock to come in there, and Pobelter will finish him off for the kill. Nice 3-for-1 trade from Immortals. Yeah,
J-Team was just chasing that kill in the bottom lane, and good response. Pobelter moving first from the mid lane. Everyone from Immortals kind of reacting instantly, and it's almost like they were like, okay, you're all laning, we know the enemy jungle is coming then, and you can see Pobelter already left the mid lane. As soon as that all-in started, even before Archie showed himself, Pobelter was on his way. Cody Sun stays alive with the Warlords and his own heal. A little bit longer than expected, and now 200 IQ Gravity Field coming down from Pobelter. And that's 3 kills for Immortals. You probably couldn't wish for a better start. Flame did use his teleport, had to then recall and go back top lane, so did lose a bit of CS. And we have to see if that TP advantage will do anything for J-Team. Problem is, it's so early in the game that you can't dive the tower anyway, so Flame will most likely just get his TP back. And the only thing he lost on it was he couldn't use the first TP back to lane. So yeah, he gave away some lane pressure. But that's about it. He shouldn't actually lose much more for his team, because as we saw in the last game, as we've seen all day long, like TP advantage, it's all about forcing these big plays on the bottom side, these big dives where you get 2 or 3 kills and maybe a tower. But this is too early in the game.
Well, Pobelter literally just walked into the mid lane, popped ult on Fofo, and forced out his ghost. So pretty happy with that result. Ooh, Zephyr coming across there as well. Dardock trying to get in range, looking for the Q.
Let's remember, this was a first pick Cassiopeia and a forced Orianna ban to first pick that Cassiopeia. So
lots of resources. Yeah,
quite an investment from J-Team. Really has to pay off from Fofo. Dardock still staying around. He's taking the trade.
He jumps on Archie. He's got a lot of damage, but it will be evened up by the Queen's Wrath and, of course, the Furious Bite coming out there. Pobalta coming along just for the jump, the flash after from Fofo, and Donald kind of made that a little bit too easy for the mid laner to pick up that kill. Pobalta low on mana, out of Summoner Spell, being chased down. Preyseeker lands in with the Qs as well, make that the double for Fofo. Yeah, and I mean, I don't really feel like that's a kill or a double kill you can get hyped over, because like Dardock just kind of waltzed into the enemy jungle and died.
Yeah, definitely a really weird decision by Dardock to take the trade. The J-Team bot lane had already left the bottom side of the map, and they were on the way to the mid lane, and really nothing you could accomplish because Pobalta wasn't in position to move first and join the skirmish. It was always going to be Fofo joining. Like, if you look at the replay here, Pobalta comes down, but he can't join it because, like, he has no summoner, so he can't just, like, run over and start firing away at Archie, and that means that Dardock was just kind of on his own. And then obviously he goes down. Great response from Cassiopeia, and Pobalta dies as well, and that was a great start from Immortals, just kind of thrown out of the window for a trade that really had no purpose. And that's always the key thing. You know, like, if you see a play that goes wrong, and you can be like, oh, but like the idea was smart, there was clearly like a plan here, yeah, execution just went down, then you can kind of say that's okay. But when you just see a play where there's kind of like, there's really no win here. There's not really anything you're doing it for other than just trying to force the enemy jungler back to base. Even
more weird, right? Because it's coming from Dardock, and we were talking so much about, oh, gotta deny that Lee Sin from Dardock. Oh, he's got his hands on the Lee Sin now. It looks like he might be able to get that early game
Still
carry.
A fair statement. I mean, trust me, he will make some plays in this game here, and he deserves all that respect and credit. This was just like a poor decision, and that's it. You know, you move on.
But it's less about that point and more the fact that from what we've seen from Dardock today in general, in terms of his decision-making, less about the champions. Because it's not like he mechanically just misplayed that. It was just a bad decision.
Sure.
And that's what we've seen from Dardock, regardless of the champion he's been on. So I think he may just be having an off day in general. But it hasn't really mattered too much. It's of course, partly put them in a situation up against J-Team, but it's a high likelihood they'll come out of this bracket regardless.
I think the critique is pretty harsh against him. I think he's had some really good games. I do agree there's been some off decisions in some of these games, but I think the last game he was one of the big carries for sure, and earlier today against J-Team as well. And I'm pretty sure he's going to go off on Lee Sin in this game here. Just knowing him as a player, he's okay, never mind. Yeah, so about that point, Pulse.
Look at me. I am the analyst now. No, I still
He can still go off later. Later.
I mean, he technically still has 100% cope.
I mean, he literally just walked straight in there and didn't even turn around when he saw the enemy.
Well, he did do that, and you've got to turn your back against the Medusa. Has he not learnt anything from those old folk tales? Apparently not. Morning though, he's having a great time. He saw last game what Flame was doing. Gonna hold that fort because bot lane trading off. Strong on Thorns. Jay and BB will jump away from it and jump after Cody's son. Oh, in turn flash away once again. No TP. No TP is coming down. So
Pobalta's coming though, and here's Dardock. He wants revenge now.
All right.
He's on his way.
Return of the Dardock. Let's go. Pobalta into the bot lane. Gonna gobble up his ADC, but Jay will go down before the great health even comes up. And Ollie snacks him with the E, but hello! Deathfire touch was enough to finish him off. Okay. So that was a 1-for-1. All right, cool.
And that means Fofo can just push in mid lane now. Immortals trying to force some plays. Decided for them, never really getting a big advantage with it. Jay just trying to gobble up BB here, so he's not the instant target, and then Jay just takes all the damage and then spits out BB, which is definitely fine. The gravity or the storm just not so doing enough, and then Deathfire touch taking away and taking down Pobalta in the end.
That's it.
J-Team getting some good trades in the start.
Hang on. Did Cody's son stay in there?
He did stay in there. All right.
That was just greeting for the farm, really.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit weird.
From both teams, it's not even like one team is just like
No, but like Immortals in this one now have made quite some mistakes, staying for too long or some poor decisions, and they've been punished by J-Team. That bot lane tower taking quite some damage. And Archie is here as well to make sure they keep dealing damage to this tower. Don't have to worry about a jungler showing up from the enemy team. So really good position now for J-Team Also with Fofo just getting like ton of free farm and free kills in the mid lane, honestly.
Yeah.
4-0 on this Cassiopeia, almost 100 CS at 11 minutes.
I do think you'll curse this game to Fisher because you were saying, look at this first bit Cassiopeia not really working out, picks up a double kill, and is now 4-0. Dark's gonna go off, dies twice in the quick succession.
Yeah, okay, that
right,
one for
make
sure.
Make another prediction to
No.
I want to see what happens now.
That one definitely is true with the Dalek one. That one backfired. Cassiopeia one, when we talked about the investment. We didn't say it was bad investment, we just said they invested a lot to get it. So far it's been paying off, I agree. Let's see, what can we predict that could possibly go wrong? Alright, they are setting up a dive bot lane on the side of J-Team.
Right, tell me how it's going to play out.
This dive will go in favor of J-Team.
Alright, let's go Immortals! Koi's-san pops the ultimate, gets the stun off. And with Pobelter looking to try and close the noose here, might be able to trap them in his jungle.
Yeah, this is definitely not going in favor of
J-Team. It's not. Dark's going down.
Oh, it's fine.
They got out. They got out.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, it's an even-ish
It's
trade.
even. Oh, let's see what Morning is doing. He's coming mid lane. It's going to be in favor of J-Team.
Oh, nice flash. Comes down. We're going to throw him back into his
Prediction
team.
God.
It's Deficio. He's turning up just like Morning in this game. All coming up, J-Team.
Delayed, but it did happen. Mid tower is going to take a ton of damage here now. That's Pobelter gone. 5-0 Cassiopeia. And pause, you questioned the first pick.
The investment paid off.
The investment is definitely paying off in this game here. And looks like Fofo wants to move us to a game 3 as a ton of gold. Man, that guy is fed.
He is going to be massive. I would like to check his gold, but I can't. But presumably he has a lot, so he's going to go back to base. He has many components.
Building towards Abyssal as well. Needs a Rylai's.
That is a lot of items. Yeah, he's pretty big. 5-0-0. Damn. Well, if Fofo can't win this game now, I don't know what's going to save JT, because that is the biggest Cassiopeia I've seen at like 30 minutes in a long while.
Now, it will be, I mean, okay, yes, when you're this fat, you obviously should be able to carry, but Immortals comp is actually designed pretty well to deal with things like Cassiopeia that has to kind of like sit there and just kind of spam away, like just spam abilities, because there's like, the zone control of like Ash Zyra is pretty insane to kind of stop Cassiopeia from getting in range to just hammer away with the twin fangs. There's the gravity field, obviously from a Victor. There's a depth charge, there's a point and click from Immortals. Like, there's so much on Immortals comp to kind of stop these consistent damage dealers like Cassiopeia from just sitting there and hammering away. But that requires Immortals to get like an even team fight. And that's the problem, right? Once you start falling behind, this Cassiopeia will just start finding people on their own and she will just destroy them instantly, and then it doesn't even matter. But I actually think Immortals composition is really strong in fights, especially to deal with someone like Fofo. But they have to get to those fights without falling further behind. Here's Dardoch.
Here's the ultimate. Nice flash from Jay. Can't see trying to land those arrows on him. Dardoch is taking a lot of damage. Just kind of over time from BB. Comes the curtain call. The knock-up from Achi as well. Nice double knock-up there. Dardoch trying to get away. Will safeguard back to his allies. Pobelter with the counter gank. Fofo comes down. And the tick will be enough to finish off Fofo there. Noctis Blast. So,
yeah, so much damage.
Rack up another kill to the tally. 6-0-0.
The best the Immortals could have done there, trying to get out of it once they realized J-Team was already roaming. And that's the thing that happens when you lose that mid lane control. Their mid laner can run through the river. Your mid lane has to run through his own jungle, behind some of the camps, and it takes a lot of time getting down there. Pobelter obviously not able to react in time. Didn't actually see if he was coming from base or from the mid lane specifically, but nonetheless, Fofo could move first, force Immortals to back away, and that's a tower as well, and it's looking real good for the LMS team.
Rough times as well when Cassiopeia can solo Dragon and not take any damage from it at all. He's gone back to mid lane, will carry on farming. Flame trying to make this happen. Good W out from Morning. I think it was a little late. He'll slam Northless against the wall, and Dardoch should be able to pick up the kill here.
Oh, there you go.
That was sick. Okay.
There we go. He's back.
He's back. He's back in Lee Sin.
That's it. Nice little dodge on the Poppy ulti from Dardoch. That's just one kill though for Immortals. Not really able to get anything else. Should just hard push the bot lane now though. Cody's-san. That's so many members on top. They're all gonna die now.
That's nice timing.
Oh, he missed the wall.
No, yeah.
He actually missed the wall.
It's hard, you know. That wall does.
It moves.
It moves.
You know.
It's not like it's a stationary object. So That was a bit unfortunate from Flame, but the wall did outplay him, so can't feel too bad about that one. Just happened.
Oh, and that means now, because they killed Flame so quickly, they can try and TP bot lane.
Okay, Morning's gonna defend it.
Yeah,
has a sliver of HP remaining.
Problem for Immortals is they know if they stay, then Cassiopeia comes down behind them and kills them, so they're kind of afraid committing to the tower. And had Flame just stayed alive top lane a little longer, they would have gotten that bot lane tower. Dalek is here to defend, but he's 1v3.
Yeah, he gets the ward jump over the wall, so he's surviving. BB doesn't get that fourth shot on him. Archie, Flame TPing in, and they defend the tower. So neither top nor bottom will go down.
But the problem is, if you look at your minimap all the time, Fofo is just moving straight from lane, like to the side lanes, the quickest route possible. And again, as we mentioned earlier, Pobel has to run like really far back in the lane and like around these, basically around his own jungle. Because if he ever face checks Fofo, he dies like instantly. There's nothing you can do against him. So it's really difficult to play on your side lanes when your mid laner is just automatically like losing and he can't move fast enough. You can just sit and wave clear on the Victor and that's it. Fofo again is moving from their mid lane and they're trying to now just make sure they can take this top tower, and they should be able to force Flame away, seeing as we had so many members from Immortals bot lane with the Ashe and Zyra before, and this tower is so low, but J-Team never really committed just yet. They're still able to push multiple lanes at the same time, and someone has to go back and defend here. Will have to be Flame, but he has no TP.
Very much about those TPs, the timing on it, and whether they can make some plays from it. And J-Team 9-5 currently do have a pretty good advantage over Immortals. I do have faith in them that they will be able to try and close this one out against them.
Alright.
Wait a minute.
I'm not getting blue buff, you're not getting blue buff.
I mean,
and
he didn't reset it, so
yeah,
Pobelt will just take it anyway. And
but
top
again,
lane has inverted, so we're in Australia lanes.
We are, but we are still seeing a team, J-Team, being pretty far ahead right now. So while it is a 2v2, Cassiopeia is going to leave mid lane, and then Immortals bot lane in a normal situation would be like, right, she might be top, let's just step away from the tower, and this tower is so low it's going to die anyway, and then Immortals are not able to get pressure anywhere else on the map. They didn't go for the trade, where they said, okay, we take bot tower, we fully invest on bot tower, you get top tower, we just trade towers. They're actually committing to like defending, but defending is going to be close to impossible just because Fofo can leave lane first and threaten a dive. And then that tower is so low, and in the end, J-Team will get a top tower, and Immortals will not get anything in return. Because this bot lane tower, well, it's just Poppy versus Nautilus.
It's true. Fofo also 2,300 gold over Pobelta currently. Has just finished his Rylai's. He's still stacking up his tier. Archie just finished his Cinderhawk as well, has that tier map for the early clear. He's also having a great game. I think slightly overlooked him just because Fofo's been picking up all these kills, but Archie is the one who's been setting them up for them.
Dalek is trying to set up a trap here. He's hoping Fofo shows up, and then they can Ashe arrow him and just like take him down instantly. Jhin ulti coming in, and here's the rest of J-Team, just as we talked about.
Lands one, land the fourth one onto Ollie there. Fofo getting kicked out of the fight, but Ollie did bleed out, I think, from the Deathfire touch. So another kill to J-Team.
You cannot defend 2v2 because you can't get a proper team fight up here. You can't get a numbers advantage. It's always J-Team roaming first with the massive Cassiopeia. Actually, he just went back. Why did he go back mid?
I have no idea. Pobelta, he's snared, actually being chased down. Tower somehow still alive.
Just a matter of time.
It's just
and it will die.
Probably die by itself at this point. Single digits of HP. Fofo finishes off the midway, but interesting he did go back to that mid lane. Bot lane, there's no point talking about bot lane. And actually clearing out these wards now, so trying to get this vision back away from Immortals.
Yeah, it feels like Immortals are trying to outplay their way out of this situation instead of just taking like whatever gold they can and like just opt into a trade. Like Dardak was sitting up there to just basically create that trap, hoping Fofo would show up. They could like Ashe him, one-shot him, and kind of like outplay J-Team that way and stop them from getting that tower. But as expected, J-Team obviously just played it super safe, took down that tower. They still have every single tower alive. This bot lane tower is low. You can see it on your minimap how it is taking a lot of damage. But you need the bot lane on that side from Immortals to actually take it down. Might be able to get some damage on top tower, because right now J-Team is putting their priority on the dragon that just spawned, which is an Infernal Drake, and seem to be okay trading it for top tower.
Darlock's going to be up there as well. 3 members from Immortals will take away this tower, so there will be the trade. Cassiopeia down there as well, it will go down very quickly. Morning heading up into the top lane. We'll just collect this wave that is heading towards him. Get wrecked, Ned.
It's Infernal Drake.
That's Infernal Drake actually taking that away. Did Jay even have vision over... Yeah, he had the ward over the wall. And actually will take away this Rift Scuttler. So J-Team's still in a good position, by the way. 21 minutes into this game, they have a healthy 5,000 gold advantage, the 2 dragon advantage, the 2 tower advantage.
And now you start playing around Baron. You have Cassiopeia super fed, can destroy Baron so quickly. Ideally you get blue buff first, and then you go to the Baron, get that extra AP and also of course the mana regen. Because you can't really siege properly on turrets with Cassiopeia, especially against like Victor, Ashe, Zyra. Like too many things can catch you and too many things can wave clear. So you need to start playing around this Baron specifically, and just play around that top side of the map, enemy jungle, the river, and force Immortals to come close to the Baron and then try and get a flank with Poppy and like start the team fight. There really is no hard engage for J-Team, so they need to force fights near objectives and not just out in the open field, because they can't really start those fights consistently.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe those 2 control wards in the Baron pit are necessary because I remember you were talking earlier today that they only have a range of 9 Teemos now, so you do need 2 control wards to cover the entire Baron pit.
Old pink wards had a range of 10 Teemos when it came to denying vision, had obviously a full vision range of 11 Teemos, also known as 1100 units. But now you get to see J-Team, they know what they need to do, play around that Baron side. Did lose one of the control wards in there, but there's no wards from Immortals, and we get to see that play where we don't have any engage, so we kind of need you to come to us so we can start the fight.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could just engage on yourselves.
It's like really the only thing they can do is like Jhin pops his ulti, and that's kind of how you start the fight as J-Team, but it's so hard to do out in the open.
Yeah. Morning, gonna carry on pushing the bottom lane. This has probably been the dullest bottom lane of all time for both Flame and Morning, so that's what you get when you have double Colossus users, both of them. Spirit Visage now picked up, so Morning's not going to die ever, and neither is Flame. Pobelter still clearing up minion waves, and we are currently at Cleanup Central, where both teams are just farming minion waves.
So here's what we want to see, Pauls. We want to see that blue buff go over to Cassiopeia. We then want to see J-Team baited and actually do like a 2-man Baron with Cassiopeia and like Tahm Kench or Cassiopeia and Rek'Sai. Sadly, there's no armor on Rek'Sai, so it's really hard to tank the Baron this early on. You're going to take a lot of damage when you have only damage items really and a Cinderhulk on your own Rek'Sai. So it is difficult for J-Team to take it down, but you can start it just with 2 members. Cassiopeia just hammering away with the blue buff. Then by the time it gets low, you move the rest of the team over and you actually take it. Good force there from J-Team with the flash.
Good investment. And nice vision control of the enemy jungle. Cody Sun, whoa, nice flash in from Fofo. We'll have to burn both summoners, but BB and Jay there for the punish along with Achi. Here comes the curtain call, and suddenly all of J-Team are here in the jungle. Goodbye, Cody Sun, he's dead. Darlock, Pobelter, and Ollie trying to get out of their lives. Flame does have his TP if he wants to use it, but the AD carry already dead. J-Team gets the force that he wanted and look towards Baron.
That was such a smart bait. He saw them walk by the blue trinket ward, and he was like, no, I'm just going to step forward anyway. And then as soon as he saw the arrow, he just flashed aggressively. Flashed forward because he knew his team was coming for the flank. And that was how they wanted to start the fight. Darlock has to steal this Baron here, otherwise Immortals will lose this game.
Well, Pobelter is getting a lot of work done currently. Flames coming in, lands a bit of CC. He's knocked up by Morning, who is just not taking any damage. He's going to get bowling balled into BB. And that may be enough for J-Team to think twice about taking the Baron.
Yeah, J-Team knew that the only way back for Immortals right now is like taking that Baron, so they just stopped and didn't want to risk Darlock actually stealing it. Play it safe. We'll have to go back and reset the whole thing. Can get another try on the Baron. So this is like Cody actually being able to flash aggressively on the arrow, and he knows his team is coming now, and they're ready to take the fight. Such a good knock-up, and then ulti also hitting Cody-san, take him down. And then they can start the Baron. Reset the whole thing. If they don't get the Baron within a minute and 30, they go down and take another Infernal Drake.
And also they have a lot of summoners down from the side of Immortals, so trying to get those picks will be significantly easier. No summoners on Pobelter, Ollie, no Flash, Cody, likewise Flame, probably not going to pick on him. Dalek, the only one with a Flash on Immortals, so J-Team, if they want to strangle them away from vision like they've been doing, they might be able to make that play happen once more.
Yeah, now with no teleports, they're sending Rek'Sai bot lane. She has her ulti, of course, and she can keep pushing. And if anyone shows up from Immortals to defend it, J-Team can just start the Baron and force a 4v5 team fight. So, smart setup with the Rek'Sai, one of the many ways to use the ulti. And now Flame has to go bot lane and try and defend the wave. J-Team should be ready now the wave is hitting tower to go straight for Baron.
Yeah. Flame will have a way of
They just let Dada clear every control ward in there? What?
Wow, okay. That was like 2-3 control wards.
Why would you let him do that? That was... The entire setup was like you knew you had Rek'Sai pushing bot lane and you can always ulti back towards your team, and you just lost your 2 wards in the Baron pit. They have one
big
left though on Fofo.
Yeah, he also had 2 in the inventory, so he's placed 1 down now, so he'll be able to place 1 down in a bit. But yeah, that's a lot of vision they just lost over Baron, and the setup looks so good from them.
Yeah, it just feels like as soon as they lost the vision, they just completely like forgot about the plan. Archie just left the bot lane, where he was pushing with a global advantage, to run to his team, place 1 ward in the jungle, and he's now just kind of running around with his teammates. Stay bot lane, push it in again, force Flame to defend again, and then use your global ulti.
Or just go back to the play that you were talking about. If it doesn't work out, just go Dragon now.
Yeah, then
that'll
just
be
take
a
Dragon.
objective.
They might try and just dive mid here. Cody-san is sitting top lane.
As long as Morning's tanking the tower, he's pretty massive, so he's not really going to be taking any damage, but actually does not pull the trigger.
A shame to see J-Team just completely forget about the plan that was actually good. It was a good plan they had, sending the Rek'Sai bot lane, and just because it didn't work the first time doesn't mean you have to just drop it.
Yeah.
There was still another 2 minutes on TP from Flame.
There's still virtue in try again.
So J-Team first mistake is letting Dada just clear 2 control wards, and then second mistake is just moving Archie away from the bot lane. Really didn't manage to do anything, and Immortals just managed to get TP back from Flame, at least very, very soon, and they got to survive what could have been an almost impossible situation to defend against, where either you lose a tower and they just bait around Baron, or you try and defend and you lose Baron, get a 4v5 team fight. In the end, honestly, J-Team didn't get a single thing from it.
And the later this game goes as well, proportionally the massive advantage that Fofo originally had is not as relevant as it was like 10 minutes ago. He's still pretty big in terms of items, but you take a look at Pobelter now, who is pretty happy on triple items himself. He's dealing comparable damage when it comes to these team fights.
Yep, it's not a big advantage any longer in favor of Fofo, so they do get the Dragon, J-Team. But really what they need is the Baron. That's like the Baron is what opens up for them to actually push in multiple lanes and start getting these towers down. Because you want to just keep pushing the tower away from where the Victor is, because he's the man, obviously, just like point and click wave clearing it. But if you have a Rek'Sai top lane and a Poppy bot lane with Baron buff minions, that's too many waves of Baron buff minions coming in that the Immortals can't defend against it, and they lose the side lane turrets. But because J-Team just completely messed up a very, very simple Baron setup before, Immortals is still hanging in there.
They are. And they're slowly catching up in gold. Nautilus and Poppy just continuing to scale up.
And they have their TPs now.
Yeah, they have their TPs. And Pobelter, importantly, like, he's got his voice up now, so he's able to slice through those tanks. They get into a team fight.
And we don't have any control wards in the Baron pit now from J-Team. They have a few in the inventory, but they haven't placed them yet. They need to get full control of that river and the Baron pit, and then they need to get some wards behind the Baron pit as well, if they actually want to start it. I still feel like starting it with 2 members while having 2 other guys sitting in mid, just kind of baiting and buying time, is still effective. Pobelter face checking though.
Pobelter face checking and getting caught out. He's dropping very low, ticking down from the Deathfire touch, but it is enough to keep him alive for now. Jump after from Fofo, finish him off with a twin flying Ollie, also getting caught off to the side. Quick 2 kills over to J-Team. In with the redemption. I'm not sure what we're looking at currently. Oh, Flames going down, called out by 5 people.
I guess...
Fisher drops his water. It's all gone wrong for Immortals.
Yeah, I guess you could just wait for someone to face check. Really surprising. Oh, blast cone, hype!
That was sick.
Great synergy, but yeah, Pobel is running in. Face checking, getting caught and dying.
Right, this is the time for Dardock to
This
go
is
off.
it. This is what I predicted 25 minutes ago.
Let's go, Dardock. Lands the Q.
Alright, and I'm making it easy for him.
No, they're not. Jay's there. Ah, Jay gobbled them up. And that was a big crit in from BB as well. So, Dardock not able to make the hero play, and that's Baron over to J Team. Very good for them, but let's just take a look at that face check one more time.
I'm really not sure because no one was in the Baron pit actually threatening the Baron, so Pobel really had nothing to do there. Ended up just walking into the bush where there's no vision. He gets caught. That's exactly what J Team wanted now. Seeing as J Team couldn't really force it themselves, they had to wait for a mistake, honestly, from Immortals. Get the kills, get the Baron. They've been waiting for that Baron for such a long time, and now with the Dragons, the Baron buff, they can start pushing multiple lanes and get down these tier 2 turrets and really snowball out of control.
It's starting to seem almost insurmountable, honestly, for J-Team and for Immortals to try and come back into this game. And considering how Game 1 went for Immortals and how the start of the day as well went for Immortals, it doesn't seem like the same team currently, making these critical errors, and J-Team will capitalize on them. And what a crazy story it would be for J-Team to potentially eliminate Immortals here, taking this to match point. Looks like a very likely scenario for them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel coming into the games today, it would be hard to predict that Immortals will be way better than J-Team, so we can't base it on that, but we can base it on that first game we saw today, and even the first game we saw of this series, where J-Team was, struggling, especially in the first game of today, where they got stopped by Immortals. That's where we can base it on saying, okay, wow, surprisingly they actually managed to bounce back. But they did look much better in, of course, the series we saw just before this one, after BB came back in. They look to get that inhib down now. In the mid lane, might be a fight.
Nice arrow from Cody, but that will be countered by Jay's Devour. It can't be used for the next couple seconds though, so Flame might be able to capitalize on that, because that is one ultimate down. Flame, tank up these ultimate shots. Ollie chunked out of the fight, and that will result in the inhibitor down for J-Team. So, big advantage now, pushing it slow.
And Immortals can't rely on just an Ash arrow and then wait to see if it hits anything, because then Tahm Kench will just eat that target. You need Lee Sin, and Nautilus going in with the Ash arrow, so when Tahm Kench picks one target, you take the other squishy next to him. It's either Cassiopeia or Jhin getting eaten by Tahm Kench, not both. Immortals, though, are so far behind, they have to honestly be so scared in every fight, and that's what we see, Dardock and Flame not able to join the fight after the engage from Cody Sun, and looking a lot like a game 3.
Yeah.
Both teams now shown good things and bad things. We can definitely criticize J-Team's late game setups, also just from earlier today, the experience we have with them getting to the late game and how much time they need before they kind of close it out, how much they struggle around the Baron setups. They get it this time around, have the open inhib now.
Indeed, in this game, showing less mistakes than Immortals. There's the curtain call, trying to find this pick in the mid lane. Warning with no ultimate onto anyone. Flame knocked into the enemy team, but it's not the perfect target you want to have going down. However, Fofo will just slice through him like nothing. So, turns out the pick was okay in the end. BB chunked out by the laser. And J-Team with another nice pick. Dardock finding his way into his own jungle. Actually, going to the bot lane with the rest of his team. And with this pick, looks like they'll be able to knock down another inhibitor.
I like the decision here to value the towers instead of running down to take an Elder Drake. It is spawning obviously just now. See if you can get another objective, because it's about getting these big towers down to close out the game. Sadly for them, no minions.
No minions. They got a wave coming, but there is also a Victor, and they are out of bounds. So, may not be able to take this one at all, because Victor exists in the game. J-Team will read this and back away. Top lane tower would be an easy one, but as Elder Drake is up, why not just take it?
Immortals can't fight here. Flame has teleport, but I don't know if there's any wards he can actually TP to. They might have to place a ward themselves. he can join. While the rest of J-Team are taking damage from the Elder Drake, this might be the fight where Immortals can try and get back in the game. Without a big win here, J-Team will be able to close it out.
Morning still tanking the dragon. Volley poking away at Achi. The dragon dropping low, taken to half. Ollie does not land the snare onto anyone. Good block out by Morning. Tanking a lot of damage though. Curtain call from BB Morning. He's gonna die here. Jay will save him. Immortals, maybe if they're able to pick up this dragon, it'll be a good turning point for them. Redemption comes down. Big heal on the side of J-Team. Dragon very low. He's gonna get the smite. It's gonna be Pobelter. Immortals dropping 2 members, so that's 3. And J-Team with the big punish onto Immortals. They were able to take the dragon, but alas, to no avail. 4 quick kills, 20-5. J-Team now looking to put the nail in the coffin, finish off this game. That's the ace. 5-0. J-Team going to be taking this one to game 3. And Immortals is kind of falling apart of the seams here on Siege Officio. And with 5 members, it's one not long for this world. Nexus goes down. J-Team take this to game 3.
Yeah, Immortals fell apart pretty early on. Around the mid lane, where Dardoch had some questionable plays, like a punished. Like, suddenly we look at Fofo and he's 4-0. It's like, oh, okay, like this man is super fed. And J-Team were able to like win some fights in the bot lane as well. And honestly, much better game from them. Of course, still the big question marks around the Baron and closing it out. Had some big openings they could have used, but in the end, they just played very safe. There's one thing I've noticed with J-Team now in this tournament. They played super safe in the mid to late game. They don't want to risk like throwing at Baron. So they're just making sure that everything is ready before they actually start and try and finish it.
I'll be honest, Officio, that second game was very different from what we've seen so far from J-Team and Immortals. Way more mistakes across the board. I think J-Team in general made less mistakes, but very sloppy. Like, we were watching Dardoch just walk in, die, like just walked into mid lane and was just like, oh, there's a Cassiopeia here, oh, I'm dead. And it's just like, mistakes like these was just, honestly, just was not characteristic of what we've typically seen from them over a sample size of half a day.
Yeah, of course, have to remember it's been a long day for the players as well, and these rosters are, like, at least the Immortals roster is put together very recently, so obviously can't expect too much of synergy.